where fantasy becomes reality.
Gambling has altered the landscape of sports forever. What was once something filled with passion and joy has become the arena for massive business transactions and deteriorating mental health. But how did we get here? Back in the day, fans tuned in to witness the sheer brilliance of athletes pushing the limits of human potential. It was about the love of the game, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. But as the stakes grew higher, so did the temptations. Enter the rise of sports betting. With billions of dollars at stake, sports became more than just a game. They became a business. And when there's money to be made, there's bound to be some corruption. We've seen it time and time again. Players, coaches, even entire organizations caught in the web of gambling. But perhaps even more troubling is the temptation for players themselves to gamble on their own performance. Take, for example, Jonte Porter of the NBA, or Shohei Ohtani's translator from the MLB. Both of these situations involve talented athletes whose careers were marred by allegations of gambling on themselves or the leagues that they play in. And in Porter's case, it actually did end his career, as he received a lifetime ban. It's a dangerous game that not only tarnishes their legacy, but undermines the integrity of the sport that they play. Porter, a 24-year-old, now former power forward for the Raptors, had been playing in the NBA for 4 seasons. He was banned for life as a warning shot to other players who might be tempted to follow in his footsteps and try similar practices. Basically, to sum it up, a bettor had placed a prop bet for $80,000 on the fact that he would underperform in a game in March. The payout for that bet would have been $1.1 million. In that game, Porter stopped playing after just 3 minutes, claiming that he felt sick. Now, in the case of Ohtani, his interpreter, Ippei Mizuhara, was charged with taking $16 million from the athlete to cover gambling debts with a bookie. It seems pretty unlikely, though, that it was all happening behind Ohtani's back, as the average unit size that Mizuhara was betting was around or over $100,000, though he claims that he was fully at fault and Ohtani had no idea. But I mean, guys, if that much was leaving your bank account, you'd probably notice. The impact of gambling doesn't just stop there with the pro players. With the rise of online sports betting platforms and mobile apps, sports betting has become more accessible than ever before. And while some may see it as harmless entertainment, the truth can be far more sinister. It's my belief that sports betting is creating a generation of addicted gamblers who believe that there's skill involved in predicting the outcome of a game that they have no influence over. The reality is, it's nothing more than a game of chance. And at that, it's one that's rigged against the player, as the house takes their cut on every wager. According to a Penn State report, the percentage of Pennsylvanians who gamble online has increased from 11% in 2022 to 16% in 2023, while the percentage of Pennsylvania online gamblers who report having problems with their gambling has increased from approximately 33% in 2022 to approximately 49% in 2023. This is literally half the people that are gambling online are experiencing a problem with their gambling. They're gambling too much money or too long. They're out of control in some way. They're experiencing some kind of negative as a result of their gambling. Previously, it was estimated that there was around 2 to 7% of the gamblers out there that had gambling problems or were addicted to gambling. Now we're looking at a number of almost 50%. This is staggering. These trends are expected to continue nationwide here in the United States and all around the world as sports betting continues to become more accessible and easier to implement into people's lives. I really don't think that we're far from the days of AI recommending bets to you while you're scrolling your social media feeds and being just one click away from having a bet placed. It's pretty likely that gambling will continue to become intertwined with the rest of your daily lifestyle until we reach a point where enough people have lost it all for society to wake up and ask themselves, why have they been letting this happen? The consequences of gambling addiction are far-reaching, affecting not only the individual, but their loved ones and their community as a whole. From financial ruin to broken relationships, the toll is immense. And yet, that draw of winning big keeps millions of people hooked to it. I would know. I'm a recovering gambling addict myself, and I made my last bet November the 12th of 2022. Now I create videos like this to shed a light on the gambling industry and let you know that if you're struggling right now, you're not alone in this battle. Because for a really long time, I thought that I was the only gambling addict in the world. It's just not true. Subscribe to avoid making the same mistakes with your life that I made with mine. According to recent studies, the number of problem gamblers is on the rise. In fact, you're over 30% more likely to be addicted to gambling today than you were in 2018, according to the National Council on Problem Gambling, with sports betting obviously playing a significant role fueling this epidemic. It's a sobering reality check that forces us to confront the darker side of this obsession that we have with sports. So we have to ask the question, where do we go from here? As fans, it's time to demand more transparency and accountability from the industry. It's time to put the love of the game above the lure of profit. And most importantly, it's time to recognize that the true essence of sports lies not in the outcome of a bet, but in the spirit of competition and the memories that it can bring watching it with a group of people that you love. We need to see the end of gambling advertising that tells you that you're going to be the next big winner without ever mentioning the fact that you could lose money. We need to see an increase in the resources that are available to aid addiction prevention measures and recovery initiatives for those who have already gotten hooked to the bet. We also need to see some limitations on how much damage the industry is able to do to their most vulnerable patrons. Because did you know that 86% of sports betting profits come from just 5% of the players? Let me know in the comments below how you think the landscape of the gambling industry could be changed to benefit society in a positive way. And until we start seeing some of those changes come to light, stay safe out there. And let's keep getting better together, one day at a time.